So we're gonna play our theme song intro and montage now.
Greg, I'm not sure you can.
We don't have one of those.
Oh, we're like live right now, and Greg's
don't
like,
really have one of those.
Well, no, we've been playing this because we're trying to figure out if we can do it without the actual YouTube video because we think they're pulling up the actual. Greg, I'm not sure you can. We're gonna have to mute that. Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Just don't ever fucking let it happen again. Just kidding.
Jesus, it's so scary sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Fuck was I saying? We've been
going on about the song.
Yeah. Impeach the motherfucker, but it's not. It's the
impeach the
song.
president by an old R&B band called the Honey Drippers.
So good.
Not the Robert Plant Honey Drippers. Like this is an actual older R&B band called the Honey Drippers.
Thank you for that trivia question that I'm not sure either one of us would or could ask. So that impeachment song is fantastic. I'll send it to you just because it's really fun to listen to. And on our Facebook Live version of this show, we were playing it basically constantly. It was our happy place.
It was our opening song.
100%.
But we're afraid that we don't want to get kicked off YouTube before we really get started over here. And we got a warning about some other content, so we're really flinchy about doing that.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and share this back to So Local if you have not done so already.
No, good idea. I put the link up, but I didn't share the actual.
So this is what we do. The first three, because we have a highly trained technical staff working behind the scenes.
It's intense.
So we cross post stuff ourselves while we're on the air talking about it. It's very meta. So that's what we do.
I think it's going to be meta when we start doing TikTok duets. On the show. I
have no idea what a TikTok duet is. So
it's basically like a comment, like a retweet with comment, but video.
Yeah, but video. Okay. I actually,
you know what we got to do?
Oh wait,
you should lead us through. Like you should make one, Eddie, and then show the old assholes how to do it.
I literally, when I woke up this morning, I checked my phone immediately because I'm addicted, and found a burner, like a Bernie supporter, who was flat out lying about Yang's platform, and I duetted her, and because I was pissed. I will send it to you.
Yeah, do definitely send it to me. Actually, you know what? I could probably pull it up.
You probably could.
Let's see if we can play it.
She already responded.
Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Donna. We would love it if you would like this video and hit share and share it back to Facebook to your page.
Yeah.
Head over this way.
So, wow, that's aggressive. Hold on. Watch your screen there, homie, buddy, dude. Sure, computer's down. So this is what you're gonna be seeing. Is this lady made a TikTok on the right hand side or left hand side, depending on whether this is getting mirrored, and then Eddie is on the other side responding, which you can just make these right. So it's like she sent out a tweet, and then Eddie basically took that and said, okay, but and we'll see what you said.
Nice.
And opposed to public option healthcare. Well, I hate to break it to you, but actually, that's not your man. That's presidential candidate Andrew Yang, and his policies hate poor people.
Okay. So
what she said was the white section.
What she said was the white section. So doesn't want Medicare for all. Doesn't even mention the public option. Says no PAC supported by a super PAC. Doesn't want debt forgiveness or free college. So yeah. As somebody who covers Yang's policies very closely, every bit of that is bullshit.
I know.
So, right. So, and this is the thing, right? So, and Greg, this is how people are consuming the content. So, basically, she puts this out, and it's in video form, but it's with the expectation that you're gonna pause it and read everything.
Right.
Right. So it's compelling and interesting. And honestly, I seriously, Eddie, if you're game, I'd love to just walk through the act of doing that. Just so we can play around with it.
So a video clap
she
back.
She literally already responded to me.
Yeah. So, and just letting know, super PACs are political organizations by definition are allowed to coordinate with campaigns, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, the public option thing, anyone, just go read his healthcare plan. We did 3 episodes on it.
I didn't even try to fucking dismantle that.
Right. Right. It's a lot.
Ladies, is your man Asian, a freak, and opposed to public option healthcare? Well, I hate to break it to you, but actually, that's not your man. That's presidential candidate Andrew Yang.
Yeah, that's weird. That's not good. I mean, yours was good. Hers was just kind of
I did the hand thing because it's like a trend. There's a lot of just random dumbass things that people do.
Okay.
And so I was just to make it engaging while people sat through the first 5 seconds.
Okay. All right. That's super. But I'm game. So here's what's going to happen. How about you make a TikTok right now, and both Greg and I will duet it, but Greg has to do the hand thing for sure.
Oh,
okay. I will send you.
The hand thing basically just means you're going like this, Greg. Just like do Vogue, motherfucker, like this. Yeah, even better. You're killing it already. Like I feel like you've been doing.
Wait, actually, it's like this.
Yes. This is gonna get so bad. Oh man,
I feel like while we're near the time, I want to. You may or may not have gotten 50 or 60 notifications from the So Local Live Facebook page last night. And here's what happened: is I uncovered actually Seth Abramson on Twitter is worth a follow. He's a guy who's been deeply entrenched in the impeachment and Mueller stories as we are, except that he's actually there and covering it live all the time. He posted a thread last night called a Lev Parnas picture party. It was a thread where he put up every single picture of Lev Parnas with Trump or a Trump associated ne'er-do-well that he could find, and then other people started doing it. And so what I ended up with is a folder on my hard drive of let's see, I gotta remember how to do this again. There we go. That's where we started this, I think. Yeah. What we ended up with. Is that working, Corey?
Yeah.
Just the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit, it worked. It's almost like I got good technical advice. But why can I not scroll through them now? Because I could before.
Use your arrows.
Yeah, I understand how the concept of that way. There we go. I had to load up a little bit. Anyway, is my video freaking out, or is it just okay? Anyway, that's Pam Bondi with Lev Parnas. That's Pam Bondi with Lev Parnas. You may recall Pam Bondi was our former Attorney General of Florida, who's now working on the Trump team.
Well, and okay, let's not skip past the fact that she took a $25,000 bribe to leave the lawsuit against Trump's stupid university.
That is correct.
She dropped
dropped Florida out of the Trump University lawsuit, which would have generated revenue for the state of Florida. By the way, so there's that. Anyway, there's Pam Bondi with Lev Parnas. Hey, who's that? That's Pam Bondi with Lev Parnas.
They look pretty close.
Yeah. Now in the file properties, I put who these people are. This is some congressman. That's Brown, who is a senator from, I believe, Indiana. Yeah, okay. That's Lev Parnas and Rudy with a senator. Kellyanne Conway and Lev Parnas. Donald Trump that's David Correa and Igor Fruman, who is Lev Parnas's partner in fraud protection guaranteed.
Their company was literally called Fraud Guaranteed. Like you can't make this stuff up.
They left the D off the end though.
Oh my god.
So we don't know that guy, right? But David Correa, the guy on the left, was actually indicted with Lev and Igor. So that's Senator Pete Sessions, who wrote the letter that said Yovanovitch should be fired. David Correa blurred out in the photo. I'm not sure exactly why. That's definitely that's David Correa again.
How many thumbs do we have Trump's ass? Trump's ass. That many.
Thumbs,
that's all the thumbs.
I should know who this guy is on the right of the picture. It's one of the congressmen. I can't remember which one. That's him signing a hat. For Anthony DeCallaway. DeCallaway is the guy who was literally stalking Ambassador Yovanovitch in Ukraine. And I believe Lev took this picture of DeCallaway getting his hat signed by Trump, who obviously doesn't know any of these people. There you go. That's Florida Governor Ron DeSantis with Lev Parnas and Don Jr. Ron DeSantis and Don Jr. You see what the trend here is. These are pictures. Some of these are pictures that Lev took. And most of these are pictures that Lev is in. That's him at a DeSantis rally. That's Ron DeSantis, our governor of the state of Florida, right there with Rudy Giuliani. There you go. There's that's I mean, okay, so you can tell yourself that this picture, well, contextually, the governors shake hands with a lot of people, candidates meet a lot of people. I get that. I get that you could think that about one picture out of context. But what I'm going to show you is a trend where this guy was everywhere all the time. He's like the second shooter on the grassy knoll. You know what I mean? Like I watched the Zapruder film last night, and Lev Parnas was in it.
Actually, Dave Myers just said I was going through an old family photo album this weekend, looking at holiday pictures from the 80s, and Lev Parnas is in all of them.
I found in the background of a Sasquatch photo. It's crazy. Okay, this is one of those photos. Like, I have a feeling that our Republican friends are going to look at this picture. Oh, he's in the background at a DeSantis rally, and the guy doesn't know him. But I just showed you 5 other pictures of him in cordial settings, personally having his photo taken with the governor of Florida. Right?
That's really sad. Like, you spent all this time on this. You know how well this is going to work for people that are still in the camp for Trump?
I get it. It's part of the reason I spammed our page with it last night.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to leak into their brains somehow. I don't know that it will. There he is, not knowing President Trump and Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
Okay, now this photo has become controversial because apparently the guy in the red circle is not Lev Parnas. So I apologize for putting this one in there. Overnight, that one got debunked. But that's
one of 80.
It's a Trump birthday party for one of the kids, and interestingly, that's Don and Ivana. Okay, that'll be important in a minute or two. But he sold condos for Fred Trump for years, decades. So
I didn't know.
Trump doesn't know this guy, right?
That detail is insane.
Okay, that's his son, along with President Trump and Don Jr. in the background. There you go. Yeah, that's Vice President Pence makes an appearance in a photo with Lev Parnas, who he clearly doesn't know. There you go. That's in front of a Florida flag, so that's at some rally down here.
Yep.
There you go. There they are, being chummy, hanging around. That's Lev's son.
Yeah. If there's 80 of these, let's skip to the punchline.
No, this is the punchline that there are 80 of them.
No, I know.
Yeah. There. Look. A seating arrangement where Lev Parnas is literally seated next to the president of the United States.
Yeah,
clearly doesn't know the guy.
Yeah, in his interview with Rachel, he was talking about the fact that like they had the round table sit down dinners and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That's Robert Hyde. That's the guy that apparently was coordinating the surveillance of Yovanovitch and threatening her life with Eric Trump. Oh, there he is with Eric Trump. Oh, there he is with I mean, like, I'll scroll through a little faster, but that's John Kelly, National Security Advisor John Kelly, right? That's Sarah Huckabee Sanders with Lev Parnas, who she clearly doesn't know. There you go. They're there in Israel with Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee, right? That's on the night of the inauguration. That's Hyde, the threatening guy. Oh, look, it's Robert Hyde with Donald J. Trump obviously playing golf somewhere. There's pictures of Trump in the background, so I'm going to assume that's a Trump property. Oh, look, it's Kevin McCarthy, the House leader, with Mr. Hyde. All of these fuckers. Is that a Trump
yarmulke?
Yes, it is. And I have a Jewish friend that told me that she saw those this year and it made her want to throw up. That's Hyde with Giuliani. Okay, so the reason the birthday party picture is still important is that's Lev Parnas with Ivana Trump. Right, so he's known this family long enough to have been friends with both.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if he was selling condo, and this is the thing, selling condos for Fred Trump. Right, which probably means that he's more or less linked to the Trump campaign.
A crime.
But here's the thing: I get all the connections and stuff, and like we know every single time that Trump says, "Oh, I don't know who that person is," literally that morning they were having breakfast, right? Like we get that now. Like this is it's not like we haven't been through this a million times. But the condo thing I find significantly interesting because Panama Papers, Deutsche Bank. All sorts of international Trump towers that are being sold to Russian cutout companies. This is, by the way, Eddie, this is my pet theory that all of this will actually come crashing down because Trump has actually been laundering money for the Russians for about 8 years.
That's Lev with the Trump
but I can't prove that yet.
In their 20s when they're so. Okay, this was fascinating to me. This is a fundraising reception benefit for Ron DeSantis.
Oh, she's on the list.
He's on the steering committee. He's on the fucking steering committee. There's no way they don't know this guy, right? Yeah. There you go. I just thought this was a fascinating collection of there's Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader.
Fucking Kevin McCarthy.
Right? That's him with Mike Huckabee. Oh, that's celebrating the moving of the embassy in Israel is what that's all about. And there they are at Benjamin Netanyahu's house having a dinner like you do. Betsy DeVos with Lev Parnas' son. Right, I got another one in here of there's Mike Pence again.
That should just be their mugshot, their collective mugshot there.
That's the band photo of Ukraine clown posse.
Oh no!
That's what that.
Okay, did you really just say that?
Yeah, that's Eric Prince with Rudy Giuliani. Photo by Lev Parnas.
Eric Prince.
Yeah. For Blackwater.
The
brother of the education secretary.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
okay,
I just
so he's in it.
I mean, I understand the slideshow is going on forever, and that is the punchline.
Yeah, it's too long. That's what I'm saying. The punchline is literally hurting my feelings.
Yeah, the number of photos with Rudy. Okay, like if he worked for Rudy, then there'd be a lot of pictures of them together, right? I get that, but it's the other people that are in this circle that continue to show up in these. Look at this. If this isn't, this is how our country is being destroyed right here in smoky rooms with a bunch of dudes smoking cigars, plotting our demise. That's what's happening to us right now. Anyway, there you go. That's just my cheerful little morning addition to the. Getting on Trump's private plane with Rudy, like you do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big yikes.
Yeah. That's Steve Scalise from the House right there.
Yeah, he's a gem.
That's Jay Sekulow at the table with Rudy Giuliani. Isn't that interesting?
Isn't he current White House counsel?
Yeah. Tarkanian. Yeah. That's the whole show. But anyway, I posted those like I did in in individual posts to make exactly this point. That it's not just that there's one photo of them together. You look back at the Clinton impeachment. How many photos are there of Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky together? There's one little video clip of them together. Okay. That's it, right?
Well, that's because they did it behind closed doors in the White House. I mean, come on now.
No, that's not exactly true. There were other places and times when they met and were together and were seen. They were out in places. But the point is, this guy is entrenched in this systemic corruption of our current administration. He's not some outside guy that nobody knows where he came from. Gosh, if we'd have known he was a criminal, we wouldn't have been dealing with him.
Yeah.
He was on steering committees for campagns.
Yeah. And again, this is just one more log on a giant bonfire of Trump says thing isn't true.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And like it now, granted, you're right. I think like watching people just kind of eat that shit like it's breakfast, over and over and over again. I actually want to bring up because Eddie, I don't know if you saw this on Facebook. I got an invite to a Trump group.
Oh my God.
And like nobody's dumb enough to invite me to a Trump group. So I was very intrigued because like I'll just go in and start dropping bombs like that, until I get kicked out because I have some anger for the entire, cult that is trying to just like turn everything to shit where you can just lie all the time. It drives me fucking bananas. Anyway. So I looked a little bit closer and I figured, okay, well, I'll just like go and look and see sort of what the state of play is. Cause I know they see an entire different media thing than us. And like that, like I know. Right.
And
right.
I'm excited.
Right. Okay. So I'm in a bubble and I get that I'm in a bubble. So I want to get out of this bubble. So I go in there and it's one of the admins turned Yang supporter and deleted all the other admins. So that and then overnight while everyone was asleep, invited hundreds of Yang Gang into the group. And this group was doing like up to 1,000 to 10,000 posts a day. Like this is a big fucking Trump group, right?
Yeah.
And so they go in there and they start posting and everything's freaking Yang Gang wall to wall, yada, yada, yada. And obviously the Trump supporters are not excited. But at the same time, like looking through all the comments, all of the Yang supporters were like doing the moving forward, freaking humanity first. They were being super kind, super nice, super engaging. Basically everything that I would not be in a Trump group, just throwing that out there. This is like an aspirational level for me that I have not hit yet, but it was fucking beautiful. Like
they came from the inside out, just like relieving the corruption of their minds.
It was weird. Like, and this, we had Eddie on the Moving Forward podcast. We were talking about the and you've actually talked about, and I think you're doing this on TikTok, which I really love. Like engaging people where they're at and really trying to leave that door open for them. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited to talk to the people that have already come through the door, even recently, and they're like, "Oh my God, what was I doing?" Those people I'm good at talking at, or to. But yeah, I mean, it is an important thing for people to be good at that, to apply themselves the way that you have, the way that everybody in that group had, just so that we can try and bring them back from, what was that frickin' church cult thing that was going Westboro Baptist or Catholics, take your pick. But like the leaving the door open for people to actually come back into society so that we can, move past all this fucking insanity. Anyway, so that happened and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, that Facebook group is like my new favorite fucking thing to just digest.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. It really is. Because it's not only anything they can do now, which is fun.
Yeah, so what do we? The admin literally just like got rid of all of the other Trump supporters.
It's like a coup.
Like, it was
just went to their houses and shot them in the night. Yeah,
it just invited them the fuck out the back door, and it worked. It worked, which is incredible.
Nice. So Eddie, why don't you talk to us for a few minutes about your path to activism? Because this is the election year. We're less than 30 days away from the Iowa primaries, and we're trying to encourage people to get out and become active in the local campaigns, not necessarily only national campaigns, but be involved locally in those campaigns. And we know that state legislatures are important too, maybe more important in our day. Our state legislature just announced 5 separate anti-LGBTQ measures here in Florida. Right. So we have a lot of work to do on the ground here. Yeah. Why don't you talk about your path? Because I want other people to get inspired by how people come to a place where they're politically active.
For sure. Yeah. So set the stage. I'm 18, going to community college. Not really sure what the hell I'm doing. I'm a political science major because the subject just always interested me. And I started the political science club at my community college, and I was the president of that club. We started getting involved by hosting an event during the 2016 election. And we brought in all of like the local people running for Congress, just, all of the local elections or not the Congress, city councils.
Right.
And we wanted to have like, an opportunity to interact with them, or for the students to interact with them. And that was like my first like big political engagement. And then I kind of fell off after 2016. Everybody was a little like low spirits. I didn't really pick it back up. I switched my major to business, transferred to San Francisco State, and started doing marketing. And then I find out about Andrew Yang, 2019 March. And I see him scrolling through my Twitter feed. I see $1,000 a month. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. I think that was.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Greg said.
No, it really wasn't. Like I didn't think it was a workable idea. No, it's okay.
So
yeah, no.
But what I have to say is Corey was on the idea of UBI in 2016.
Yeah,
he was already talking about it before any candidates were talking about it. So this is the thing that Corey. I think Corey found Yang because he had an interest in that. So please.
Well, I was watching Rogan and somebody yelled at me to do it because somebody said there was actually somebody talking about UBI. Actually, I knew who Scott Santens was already, which was awesome. But yeah, I mean, I'm into technology and how quickly things are accelerating. There's a TED talk by what the fuck is that guy? Ray Kurzweil, that basically talks about the exponential returns on technology and what that's actually going to mean, even going out 10 years, 15 years, whatever. And it effectively means that and about automation now. That's where I came at it. Like once you realize the automation curve, the only thing that I've ever seen that will solve for that not being a dystopia is UBI, and a UBI that scales with how much it needs to scale. Like the capacity for AI and for automation to run the entire economy has to have a positive feedback loop so that it's not $1,000 a month. It's $1,000 a month that constantly goes up, pegged to all sorts of different kinds of numbers. So knowing that,
back down so Eddie can continue his
story. I know I'll fucking talk for 9 hours on this shit. I'm ready to go. But yeah, no, like so that's why I was early, just because I actually do that stuff. But I think I actually heard about Andrew Yang around the same time. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, no, creating an economy that literally just runs itself so that we can do whatever we want it seems idealistic now, but like that's what we're creating. And so I saw UBI, started really looking into it. For some reason, it just kind of like triggered me. I was like, I have to prove this wrong. And then the more I looked into it, I was just like, wow, this is it. It's
a transformative idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I finally saw the Joe Rogan podcast after a couple of weeks. And that was the switch that really made me definitively Yang Gang. And and then I started getting more and more involved. Since I'm a marketing major, I was primarily focusing on digital marketing. I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet. And so I started started tweeting. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try on Twitter. I had 70 followers in March, and I just kept trying to grow and then the Yang Gang happened to be the audience that I could serve and make content for, and, you know, have interactions with. And it kept growing and growing from there. We started this mini organization. I wouldn't say mini as much anymore, called Humanity for Yang. And that essentially functions as like a social media firm that is all volunteer powered. And we reach out to people, starting on Twitter, then we branched out to Facebook. I have our TikTok account. We're growing as fast as we can to spread the message of Yang.
Nice.
And that brings us to the modern day.
Nice. So how many, I'm curious about your Twitter followers now.
Oh, my personal Twitter followers, I think I'm at like 3,400.
But the Humanity for Yang
is at 14.5 thousand.
Oh, fucking
pretty good. That's pretty good for for
we started that one in late July.
Oh shit.
That's like 5 months of growth.
That's extraordinary. So I'm because you're in California, I'm actually almost surprised that they haven't tried to hire you, the Yang campaign. Nobody's reached out to you and said, hey dude,
I have a lot of feelings about the Yang campaign.
Oh, okay.
about the leadership of the Yang campaign. I'm not going to badmouth them, but I have a lot of feelings about them.
Okay.
They're cool. They're nice people.
Yeah. Well, I got to reach out in 2018. Like one of the things that maybe is different, and this may be an age thing, I'm not even sure, but we were deeply, both of us personally damaged by the 2016 election. Like we were really, we had been working together about 6 or 8 months, and we were doing a coffee on the dock show where we went out and sat on the dock behind Corey's house. And sometimes it was about politics. Sometimes it was about what fish were swimming under the dock, just, it was a pretty free range kind of show. And I remember the week after the election that all we wanted to do is curl up in a fetal position on the dock and sob on Facebook Live. And we did a bit of that, but we both realized that we had not done enough. Like I did not have a Hillary sticker on my car. I was not making phone calls or knocking doors. Right. So I was responsible for the electoral loss. And so 2017 was me. I sat down and made a list of 3 things I wanted to accomplish to help change the dynamic around politics, especially locally. And I came up with the idea of having a music festival and voter registration event. And we did that. We did 2 of them called Vote Fest, and they were overwhelmingly successful. The second one, maybe 2,000 people showed up. Every local candidate was invited. Every candidate that would be on your ballot if you lived in my county was invited. Interestingly, exactly 1 Republican candidate came. The rest of them didn't want to come to my event because I'm a liberal, so they were sure they were going to get ambushed in some way. Bikers for Trump was there, but the candidates were not. It was the craziest, weirdest thing. But anyway, because of that, I got invited to be a field organizer for Tom Steyer's For Our Future here in Florida in the 2018 cycle. So I was just curious. It seems like when sometimes your independent action, your personal action leads to being recognized as someone who could do some good on a larger stage. Have you thought about that? I mean, you changed your major to marketing, so now you got some poli-sci and some marketing. You would be really, really effective in someone's campaign.
Yeah, I've talked to a few people who are more in the political sphere than I am, and that's kind of the feedback I get. I don't necessarily have dreams of working on political campaigns anymore, but it's too important of work, and so that's what really draws me in, is that you can really make a difference.
Somebody has to do it, and you can make a difference. Yeah, I like that. I started, the other thing that I started doing was interviewing local candidates on my show as sort of a media boot camp, right? So that some of these folks had never ever done an interview of any kind before, and so sitting them down, like, what's cool is the second time they're all straightening their shirts and sitting up straight. They've already gone back and watched the first video of them being interviewed and realized what they can and must change to be better interview subjects. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud that some people got their first their first media exposure on my tiny little show here in Pasco County, Florida. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. It's great to just create spaces where you can have positive engagements with people who may not even think the same as you, but as long as you're meeting each other halfway, you can make some progress.
So did you get excited about UBI because of Yang, or did you get excited about Yang because of UBI?
Both, I guess. Like I had heard about UBI through Yang, and then I started looking more into it. There's this one video from Kurzgesagt. It's like this German's company or German YouTube channel that makes amazing animated videos on like very complex subjects in like 10 minutes or less.
Oh, you know what? I've seen that. They should have picked a different name, because I don't know how to say that name either. I couldn't do it to save my own life. There's no way I could have done it. So I think you did very well.
Germans, so that's important probably if you're
fucking Germans.
Yeah, I have a German friend. I think she said it's Kurzgesagt.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I think that was right.
We'll take your word for it.
But it's one of my favorite YouTube channels ever, and they did a UBI episode where they literally broke down how it will work, and they used $1,000 a month as the example. And it's like you can't watch that video and think it's not a great idea.
Yeah. I'm okay. This is what generally happens when Corey and I have a conversation about some big. I don't know how to describe the topics. Something that could someday happen in the future, and Corey will be right out on top of it. Like he'll understand it, down to the root, up to the top branches, and I'll be like, "Okay, Corey, that's cool and all," and I'll wait to see how the idea develops. Like, Corey 5 years ago, 4 years ago now, when we first started working together, within 10 years, cars will all be self-driving. I'm like,
I said 5.
You said 5. Okay. But I was like,
everyone thought I was fucking crazy with 5.
Okay, Corey, that's nuts. But you know what? Just like 2 weeks ago, the first long haul truck made a trip from San Jose down here to Florida, completely self-driving, no one touching the wheel. And that's right now, the Tesla self-driving cars, other companies now making cars that are capable of self-drive. They're built with it right in. So Corey mentioned these are the kinds of things, that Corey was mentioning in the 2016 cycle that were like, dude, we're so far away from that. It's not even remotely possible. But what's fascinating to me is now a candidate for president appears, fully formed with UBI as a central part of their campaign. And he's getting a lot of attention. I don't think he's going to
that shocked me. I didn't think I know UBI is inevitable. I didn't think it'd be around this soon, and it is good for the entire civilization that it is.
Yeah,
that it's become like the worst case scenario for the Andrew Yang candidacy is he just pulled in this cycle what Bernie did with Medicare for all and
universal healthcare,
right? Like like you can't get UBI out of the Overton window now. It's just too in it, and it should be. It has to be.
And it's fascinating to me that unlike universal healthcare, it's playing to both sides of the Overton window. Like people on the right and the left appreciate the idea here. Are there other ideas, other Yang platform ideas that you're excited about?
Yes.
Yes. I love it when I get that. I know I've asked a good question when I get that.
Ding 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 ding.
Data as a property right. Because it's so like. It's also one of those things that appeals to both sides, and that you really just can't look into and think, no, this is not a good idea. Like more personal rights and access to your self, like more ownership of yourself, is an extremely American ideal. Where, of course, you would own your information. It's you. Like if you don't own yourself, what do you own in America? And so one of the big issues surrounding TikTok in particular is that you don't own any of the intellectual property or any of the videos that you create.
So they can make a commercial using your images, your words, your jokes,
which actually is in the Facebook terms of agreement as well.
Right.
And that's bullshit.
Yeah, agreed. Zero argument.
So what fixes that?
So what fixes that is Yang's proposal of making data a property right. So you have the right to know everything that is being stored about you. You have the right to be forgotten, like in the GDPR. And you have the right to know who it's being sold to. You basically have the rights to control your data. And of course,
back up a second. What is GDPR? What is GDPR?
Oh, yeah. So the EU is the first to actually take action on the new problems that are arising over data not being yours. And the GDPR, I don't know what it stands for, is the first major legislative action that that the EU put together as a whole.
Okay, so it's a legislative package designed to protect individual rights to intellectual property.
Wow, you didn't even know what it was before, but like that's exactly what it is.
I'm not a dummy.
He's all right. But okay,
if
you gotta have a co-host.
So how long has that been in place, and is it working?
I want to say about 3 years, or two years. Yes.
I was gonna say 2, but somewhere in there, yeah.
2 years, yeah. Because it is working so far. Google was the first like big major fine that they that got a fine because of the actions that they performed. I don't remember specifically what it was, but I believe it was like to the tune of $27 billion or something.
Okay, that's not chump change.
It was not trivial.
You can't say no, we're not going to operate in the EU as an economic market.
Right.
So that's the kind of action that we need to be taking, is this big collective action against these giant tech companies, because they're essentially operating as their own sovereign firms that they're making up the rules for the internet as they go.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we have a bunch of different standards that Facebook is the worst of it. I believe Twitter is probably the best of it.
Of the big ones.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the CEOs of these companies they're just acting as their own governors of the internet.
Right. It is interesting that I don't get I get ads on Twitter, but I don't get ads that feel specifically spookily targeted at me. Mm-hmm. But I will search on Google for toner for the Office copier, and on my Facebook feed will then be loaded with
so here's on that
ads that are directly relevant to something that didn't happen on Facebook.
Right. So Google does this. They say they don't do it, but it's really obvious that they are doing it. And Amazon does it, and Facebook does it. They're recording every single thing that you say at all times, period. Right? Because you may at some point say, okay, Google, or Alexa, blah, blah, blah. My phone just fucking went off, right? Yeah. It's hearing all of this, right? And so here's some results. Yeah, I get it. Literally, my phone's popping off in my hand, right? So anytime you say any kind of keyword, we were talking, I can't even remember what it was, like kite surfing or something like that, right? Michelle and I were talking about it. Her phone was in the other room. She started getting ads for kite surfing.
Wow.
Right? And this is just normal. Now, that doesn't necessarily need to stop, but with data ownership, you actually make money when they do that. Mm-hmm. The company has to pay you to get the use of that data. Right now, they're paying Google or Facebook or Amazon, right? That money needs to go to you because it's your property. That data is yours, right? And Google and Facebook and Amazon can still make money at it. They just have to split it with us, and they have to tell us when they're doing it, which is it's not a revolutionary idea at all.
Okay,
right?
It's like something that should have been in place.
Does that seem achievable to you guys?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Ask me how. Just ask me how. Go ahead, ask me how.
Well, Corey, how would that be achievable?
A social media platform on a blockchain.
Okay.
You want to go into that? What does that look like?
So, what it looks like, actually, the
are we about to transition into talking about
Chirp?
Cryptocurrency? Yes.
Well, that's they're
cryptoverse. It's not really currency.
They're sort of inextricably linked for the most part, and not in a bad way, right? Because this is the best way to do micropayments and everything else that would be associated with this kind of thing. But when the basis around it is that a very good blockchain, whether it's LinksChain, which is what I'm helping to build Chirp on, and where Shipple's going to live, which is my cryptocurrency idea. I'll send you some when we can get it working on LinksChain. So the it has the capacity to be both private and public at the same time, right? So if you make a Bitcoin transaction as an example, all of those transactions are public record. Just the actual names and identities of those people are not public record. So it's completely, totally open. You can see everything, but you can't link it necessarily back to the human being without a lot of work. It can be done, but it's a really hard thing to do. So having all of our data posted on a blockchain means that you would very easily be able to see everything that you ever did. And because it was attached to your identity and your private key, which is like a blockchain speak for it's yours, right? You would be able to have perfect ownership of that. And anytime anyone accessed it, used it, or looked at it, you would have a perfect record on a public blockchain about that as well, right? And so like Amazon and Google, all these other things, they would have to list it. If they're going to use it, they have to pay for it. And if they pay for it, whether it's like a micro penny or whatever it is, well, in fact, that actually goes really, really well to what Kurt is building. A friend of mine is building a sort of a Twitter clone on the Lynx blockchain, right? Where Chirp, you get
Chirp, right?
With that, you Chirp, right? Where you get paid for likes. You know, it costs a tiny little bit to post, costs a tiny little bit to like other stuff and comment, but it's all around, you know, monetizing our own attention so that we can actually get paid for it ourselves, right? So to me, that is sort of the Atari or the original Nintendo version of what's coming. And the best framework, what I personally want to see is a framework whereby all of your social media and data information is in a somewhat standard format, and a blockchain could actually do this relatively easily. And then whatever social media platform you want to be on, you just plug into it. Right? And all of your information goes with you. All of your information leaves when you go back, to whatever extent you want to be plugging into any one of these things. And there will be different governance types. There will be different companies that are paying you more or less for your data and who is using it, that kind of thing. But that's where all this needs to go. Now, granted, while I love making predictions, I do not know how far away that is, except that Chirp is happening much faster than I thought.
Yeah, well, it's evolving. Like, you got me on Chirp 5 days ago, and they already had a significant increase in what they're giving you back for your likes and
posting is actually cheaper. So yeah,
in a week.
Yeah, it used to be 10 likes to break even on a post. Now it's 3.
Right, and also they're adding features like
crazy.
They're adding features from people that are making content, and Corey has been responsible for at least 2 new added features in the last week or so that they put it.
Well,
they're going to implement it to Chirp.
Yeah, I think that the 2 biggest is that they're planning on making it so the biggest thing that I personally want, like when I hit that's like a 0.01 links token or whatever, right? I want to see varying levels of that, so I want to be able to do a love button for 5 times that. Holy shit, this is fucking fantastic for like a full links, which is like 100 likes, but then a monthly subscribe. And I want to see that on every single post so that it's like a micro Patreon where instead of just following or friending or whatever, like you would do on Twitter, if I was following you on the Chirp version of TikTok, Eddie, like I'd be paying 0.01, which is like 0.02 cents at this point.
Micro transactions.
Right. It's really, really tiny, but over a bunch, it can actually increase a lot. So Eddie, let's shift over to TikTok, because that's definitely why I wanted to have you on. Although you're awesome in your own right, and which is fun. He's doing the hand thing. If you do this on TikTok, it makes you cooler. Yeah. And so yeah, tell us about why and how you got on the TikTok train. And maybe help us to join you, and tell us, like, honestly, the views that you've gotten on some of your stuff, because that like blows all of the work that we've done on both of my podcasts. I think you have one video that has more views than all of it in the last 5 months.
So I first found out about TikTok through Gary Vee. We found out about it similarly, and if you don't know Gary Vee, he's this essentially like super marketer who really understands the direction that social media is going, and has understood it for the last 10 years. He literally, now the content that he posts is him listening to his old speeches about where technology is going, and him directly calling what was going to happen. So TikTok is what he's talking about now, and that's kind of why I was like, oh, okay, this is really happening. But the thing with TikTok is it happens so fast that you can immediately see results. What Corey was talking about is I have 2 videos that have over 100,000 views now.
Nice.
And I literally, one of them I took 5 minutes to make. And so it's all happening so fast that you can get people's attention for free. And attention is the commodity.
Right.
And so you're getting and giving value extremely rapidly with TikTok, and the more people we have on it that are all collectively kind of saying the same message, the more we can boost our own viewpoints, because what it essentially is free real estate, and that there's not a lot of people, but there's a lot of land to cover, and the more and more content that we generate that takes up this hypothetical or this digital land, the more we can take ownership of it in the future. And so that's why I'm trying to post as much as possible on TikTok to grab all of that land.
So Gary Vee's got $150 million company where he goes to large brands and tells them what the fuck to do on the internet, and basically tells them that TV ads are garbage, right? The same is true for politics, and we've known that for quite a while, unless you're targeting boomers, where TV ads apparently still work. Thank you, Bloomberg. Anyway,
so the guys that built the Obama machine say that if you're spending more than 30% of your campaign's funds on TV advertising, you're wasting your time. You should be spending that money on social media.
Right.
Yep.
100%. So what Gary Vee's been saying to these people on TikTok is you basically have to be creating 20 pieces of directed content on TikTok every single day. So Greg and I have been talking about this just because, I'm starting a challenge tomorrow where I'm doing 50 social media posts every day for 30 days. Mm-hmm. And the majority of it, it will be beginning, each section more or less will be beginning on TikTok. Speaking of which, hold on here. Hey guys, we're doing #Coffee Live on YouTube. You can find us at youtube.com/C/Coffee Live. And we got the amazing Chupone on today. And we're going to try and do some duets with this because Greg and I are old and we do not know what we are doing.
We do not. I don't know if I'm chirping or talking or ticking or tweeting or you kids.
All right. So I want to add some music to this because you can add music to the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The volume levels are weird. Like the other day you did one of those. It was hard to hear you above the music. So be careful.
I'm learning how to set. I'm new.
Yes, in the editing phase after the recording phase.
Yeah,
you can change the volume.
There was a bunch of times where I was recording in wind though too. So it was tough to get it. But I think I just need to bring the music level down more because I did see that was happening. So what? I'm just gonna pick the top trending piece of music. Fuck, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Who cares?
I'm talking. Yes, I'm talking and ticking, Donna. From the comments. Are you talking? Yeah, my first TikTok was, I don't know if I'm ticking or talking. Vaguely rocking. I don't know what's going on.
There's this Kevin Hart's one of his first videos was literally 3 million views, and he's like, I'm on TikTok now. And that just blew up.
It's funny. My first 4 follows were Corey, Kevin Hart, The Rock, and Terry Crews. Those are
they have
pretty much
a
got
lot
it covered.
of mass appeal. That's
yeah. Well, Kevin Hart's he's freaking hilarious on TikTok. That's the right kind of time for him. 15 seconds. He can make you laugh in 15 seconds. It's the perfect format for that guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So I'm making this up. I'm going to tell you guys. So I think while we're on here, if you guys are cool with it, let's just do some duets. Let's make this work. So when you do duets, the sound from the original thing will be all that you can hear, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. So you basically just you're going to see video and you can write things down, but you're not really going to add sound. Is that accurate?
I believe you cannot add sound during a duet because when you're recording on TikTok, the sound that you're using is what overcomes it. And then when you upload a video that already has its own sound, then you can mix.
Okay. Sound. Cool. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Okay,
so I'm just finishing this up here, and then we will rock and roll.
Right.
I would 100% recommend you check out TikTok. It's super fun if you're not creating content. Like it's fun to use.
Well, yeah, it's like I tried it months ago, and I was like, "What the shit is this?" Right? And only listening to Gary Vee, and it was funny because Eddie and I were both listening to Gary Vee, and Gary Vee was like screaming things into our head, like, "Hey, if you're not on TikTok, you're an idiot." I'm paraphrasing, but Eddie knows that I'm right about this. That's exactly what he says. And it's what we're doing here, right? So obviously we want to try and adapt to that, but it grows on you. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
I'm still in that getting used to it phase. Like it just auto plays one video after another, and I'm like, stop the thing, it's making noise. And I can
you can pause.
you can pause it whenever you want.
You're very cranky. I like to select my content, like having grown up in an age where the TV fire hose fed you content. I like that I select what content I'm going to watch, and so I can't get over that little. I've gotten very used to this way of living my life.
Yeah,
says a guy who lives on Facebook.
Thing.
Yeah,
about the that's a unique thing about the platform in that every video you're going into with no context whatsoever.
Yeah, that's it's not comfortable, and that doesn't mean I can't adapt to it. But as a beginner, I was like, I don't know what is this. Why is this person gyrating in front of my face? I don't even know. Not that I mind, but I just don't understand what I'm supposed to do with this yet. Yeah. So we'll get there. Jareen says she has to check these platforms out. TikTok is an app for your phone. I don't believe. Is there a desktop version? Is there a
no?
Right. It's just phone.
It's the device only, but the other one we're talking about, Jareen says she wants to check these platforms out. Jareen, that requires an EOS Links account, which is not a difficult thing to do at all. And if you don't have one already, you should talk to Corey in chat.
Yeah, Aaron, hold on. You want to get one right here? Because if you do, then I can send you a little bit of Links token to start out.
So if you're on TikTok, you should actually be following Eddie and Corey and myself, because I'm on TikTok, even though I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. So yeah.
You put your TikTok on the YouTube thing?
I did. Wait, did I?
I was actually talking to Eddie.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I got it.
I can send my link.
I got it.
Okay.
Chupone.
Nice. I can't remember mine.
Yeah, I think it's Greg Smithwick #1. Thank you.
It is not. I should have gone with Greg with 2 G's, but I'm not sure I did that. So
do you guys want to rock some duets? I just posted and I tagged you guys on TikTok.
Oh, sick.
Okay.
Check it
Get
out.
after it.
Like now? We're just
like right now on the Shizzo.
Oh my God. You kids are
I know if I put you on the spot, you'll do it, Greg.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. TikTok. Okay. I have TikTok open. Now it's gonna play some crazy shit at me.
You can stop that. You can actually even skip ads.
Oh, there's a pot.
There, you're good. See how there you go. Everything's fine.
So what do I do next? No, seriously. How are we doing the duets thing?
So you basically if you go to your inbox, you should be able to see that I tagged you on something. I think I'm making this up.
I haven't gotten the tag.
Okay.
Coffee Live mentioned you in a video.
Okay, so that exists. Awesome.
Yeah, it's the screenshot of the 3 of us.
Yeah, so that whole video is going on.
Yeah.
So I think you can when you hit the share thing,
right?
I think that's where the duets are listed in there. Dave Myers, you'll be fine, buddy. Here's the thing: we have a mission, Dave. That includes getting as much attention as possible, and the cheapest possible attention for us to get is on TikTok. So we don't have a choice. You can do whatever you fucking want. Although watching you draw on TikTok is something I would totally do.
Duet is turned off. This has to be turned off. This user has turned off the duet feature.
Oh, I thought I turned it. I thought it was on.
Dang.
Do I have to make another video?
You have to turn on the duet function when you're posting it.
This is going to be the best. So what are these called? Are these called TikToks or are they called?
Well, I'll just re-upload it.
Yeah, you can call them TikToks, short videos.
What's going on right now?
Okay. Let's go next. I'll just re-upload it and see how that works.
I want to hit on a point that Donna brought up in that there's too many socials.
Okay.
I agree, but the caveat is that a lot of people feel that way, but it's not going to stop. like we genuinely don't really have a choice in whether or not a platform blows up.
Yeah.
And the reason we want to be early movers in this space is that nobody else is making the content. And so there are millions, there's literally over like 500 million downloads. And there are millions of consumers on the app, but the amount of creators is lacking. They're like, the ratio is disproportionate. And so you just get free attention because you are one of the few like making content for the very many.
Right. Like if you want to post on Facebook, right? And so Donna, like whatever your last post on Facebook was, like we're used to just kind of posting for the hell of it. And obviously Facebook is where our people are. So there's like a community angle to that as well. But at the end of the day, what we're actually seeking is attention, right? You know, consciously or unconsciously, that's the point. To get a message out to the world, discriminate for the mountaintop, whatever we're going to call it. And the signal to noise ratio on Facebook is tiny. Even to the people who follow you, it's tiny.
Yeah.
Right. If you have 100 people that are following you, 5 people might see it unless it, gets liked and, gets into the organic algorithm with all sorts of comments or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
The point is that with TikTok, it might be 1,000. Right. Like the difference is shocking right now. Which again, and for people that aren't like explicitly content creators or, or what have you, right? If you're not on a mission, then maybe it doesn't matter, and that's okay, right? But I'm on a mission, and like especially with the election, with the podcast, with everything that we're doing, I tried TikTok and I was like, nah. But when people that are much smarter than me are screaming at me that there is low hanging fruit there, especially like I was already on this mission, and then I find out that the Chupo, the Eddie. So did you say how many views you're getting on your stuff? I don't think you did.
Yeah. So one of my Yang videos that I made in 5 minutes got like 100,000 views, and then another video that I made in like 30 minutes about my girlfriend got like 130,000 views.
Right. It's just nuts.
Yeah, and like 14,000 likes on the first one, and then like 17,000 on the second one.
Yeah, it's free attention. Like that's really what it is. So Greg, can you do a duet on the one that I just uploaded?
Still says this feature is turned off. Does that mean I have it turned off? Is that possible?
No. It's the first video.
On the second one, I very pointedly turned it on.
Okay, well, I'm hitting the share button.
I wonder if it's in like my security settings or something.
The duets button, and it says this feature is turned off.
So there's a second video that he uploaded.
Yeah.
That one will let you duet it.
Okay. Oh, cool. There you go.
So you'll hit the share button, and then you already found the duet.
I got that part. Yeah, duet. Oh, loading. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So what happens now?
So it's recording. You can record whatever you want.
Do the face thing. Do the face thing.
The what?
Oh, do the face.
Do the face thing.
Here we go. this.
I don't know what's going on. This means I'm listening.
Yeah.
This means I'm talking. This also means fungu in Italian. But
is it recording, or are you just doing that for fun?
No, I'm just doing it. Okay, I have to hit the red record button, don't I? Hey, I'm duetting.
Yep.
And I'm listening, and I am speaking on TikTok. That's what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. There you go. Done.
Okay, so now you could actually put in you could use the put in the words or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can set the duration really easily. That's like how I have like your name on you, and then hash coffee lag is it just the thing.
So like I need hours to figure this out.
You really don't. It's really easy. You can play with it later, but it's fun.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll just send you stupid video clips of me, and you can duet the shit out of them. How about that? That's what we'll do.
Yeah, I mean that's what's gonna happen either way. Yes. But thank you for being game on that one. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't get it, but okay.
it'll come.
Dave has an interesting perspective on this as an artist. Dave's saying, as a content creator, it's another platform to curate that will ultimately just lead to me turning down a bunch of people that want me to create content for free.
Yeah. I mean, that's like signal to noise ratio, man. If you knew for a fact that you could 10x the number of people that were asking for free content, but also 20x the number of people paying you, that's the thing. Like, people are going to ask you to make free stuff. Say no. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he just means it's another platform on which, but you know, it does feel bad to say no to people that even if they want things for free, it does feel bad to say no. It does. It just does. So that what I think what Dave is saying, and I feel this, is it's just more people I have to say no to. Why would I put myself in for that?
I just want Dave to succeed, and that's something you have to do.
Dave's pretty successful.
Unless there's a better way that I don't, because I'm not an artist. There could absolutely be a better way that is simpler that just makes Dave Myers a millionaire. And I would also be for that because his art is fucking fantastic.
Right. Yeah. I wish that model worked. Bob's saying give out samples, drive people to what you want. Yeah. Dave gives away a lot of free art. I have 2 Dave Myers pieces on my wall, and I've managed to buy 2 of his t-shirts ever because it's all I can afford. Right. So I see Dave being generous with his art all the time.
Yeah,
and it does not lead to contracts for him to do.
But I also think you have to
absolutely good enough.
I think it has to be at scale.
Stuff. Yeah, well,
right. Like doing the Patreon kind of stuff. Like it. I think there's a certain level of attention that somebody who's in that visual arts medium is going to have to hit.
You can go to TeePublic and enter Dave Myers illustration and find 20 or 30 of his works that you can have made into a coffee mug or a sticker or a t-shirt. And it's not making them a living, and they're outstanding professional level work.
No, they're really good.
Dave has donated work to me. He's given work to me. He made an amazing image of me, like Godzilla coming out of the sea when I started doing my show again after working the campaign cycle. He's given me 2 works that I have hanging on a bulletin board in my apartment. And I don't think he's saying it just doesn't translate. It is difficult.
Yeah.
To say no more.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave said, I don't think you understand the amount of people that ask me to draw freak shit on a daily basis. It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
So, and again, so like adding a whole other layer of that, it is absolutely true. I do not know what that is like. So we just got up to 11. Eddie, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate the TikTok introduction for us old fogies.
Yeah. I'll start following you. So I'll start following you.
Honestly, his videos are awesome.
I'm interested to wade into this a little more. But yeah, I guess maybe because I'm old, part of I know I'm making a lot of age deprecating jokes on myself today, but I'm feeling a little old today.
I think I started it.
There's so many social media platforms. It's difficult for me sometimes to wade into all of them in a meaningful way. So I'm glad that TikTok is working for you, and I'm curious to see what it does for us. So thank you.
Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that TikTok could decide this election.
Right. So Eddie, we have a way that we end the show every week, and every time we do one. Let's see. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Okay, Corey. Okay,
go on.
I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and make a TikTok of Eddie saying, "How do I make a thing?
Sasquatch is real."
I don't even know. Yeah. How do I make a new talk?
Just do the plus thing on the bottom.
The plus thing on the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to turn my camera around. And Eddie, what we need you to do.
But he's not going to be able to hear it.
No, I just. Oh, damn it. That won't work. Okay, never mind.
You know what we can do, though? We could clip it out of the show off
say
YouTube.
It right here on the show.
And then you can upload that video to TikTok.
So, Eddie, this is just strictly a scientific exercise that I engage in on an ongoing basis to work out the bounds of skepticism and credulity. So what we say to end the show every day is Sasquatch is real. So we would love it if you would give us a nice hearty Sasquatch is real, as if you believe it.
Okay, guys. I know it sounds crazy, but Sasquatch is real.